Hey, what's happening, everybody? What's happening, everybody? What's going on? What's going on? Let me see. What's up? My brother Kareem is up in the room. So this is gonna be. It's not gonna be a long vlog. I just wanted to plant some seeds today because it's never too early to get started with the future. So let me start the show the way I always do. Thanking all those frontline people at the doctors, nurses, people at the bodegas, wherever you at. Thank you for what you do. Virtual hug for anyone who has lost a loved one. Now, and I really hate the way this Wi-Fi here is at the house. I mean, you can see there's a huge difference between my condo and here. But anyway, there's going to be a lot of changes with Tailor-Made Dreams. With the new year coming up, we're going to be talking more about business. You know, as a matter of fact, I think next year, 2021, we're going to do a business conference, right? Because while you overseas, I'm going to tell you, while you overseas, why not make money? Why not make money? Why not get around other like-minded people who are in business, who are doing things that maybe that you're interested in doing, who can expand your horizon, who can help plug you in and get going. Because I'm telling you, once you move overseas, you start thinking differently, especially after you start letting, those pieces of the matrix go. You really start expanding what you can do, how you can do it, different ways you can move. And that's what we're going to start talking about. So next year, if you see me looking down, I just wrote a couple of notes. Like I said, I really want to talk about that FIRE movement. A lot of people talk about that FIRE movement as far as financial independence, retiring early. So we want to talk about that. But retiring early doesn't mean that you sit around and do nothing. You have to still stay active or creative doing something. I've met a lot of brothers who basically said, man, listen, Russ, I retired. I'm good. I get X amount of dollars. I ain't trying to do nothing, but you still got to stay active. You still got to stay active. You still got to stay moving. You can't just sit around, eat tacos and drink all day. You still got to stay active with something. And you definitely got to stay active mentally. And I'm going to tell you, and I was on that path. I just said, I'm going to retire. I'm going to come over here. I'm going to chill. But then all these little pockets of opportunities I kept seeing. And I was trying to actually turn other people on. Hey, look at this, look at that. Have you thought about this? And, slowly but surely, I kind of been getting pulled back into it and into, like I said, creating that activity that keeps me, that keeps me moving, that keeps me creative. Hey, why not make money while I'm doing it, right? So what's happening? Let me give a big shout out to Kareem. What's up, Dre? Felicia Jordan, that's my new ex-wife. Yeah, everybody know Felicia Jordan. If I'm married anybody, it's gonna be Felicia. What's up, Rick? What's happening, Stefan? All the rest, man, what's happening? So next year, man, like I said, we're gonna really talk about making money overseas. We're gonna talk more about focusing on our goals. And not so much the money, because I'm gonna tell you, if you focus on your goals and not the money, right, you will make money. A lot of times people are focused on the numbers. And of course, when you are setting up a business, you need different benchmarks, right? You have to hit, you should set up different benchmarks, and you should make sure that you target to hit those benchmarks. But focusing on the goal is different from focusing on the money. If you focus on the goal and you're doing the right thing, the money will follow. I promise you that. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about taking more risks, and it don't have to be crazy risk. It could be, smart risk, smart risk where you do the due diligence, where you ask other brothers who may be in that business, but just taking risks, man, not, getting off that, I'm scared to do this, that, and the other. And like I said, it don't have to be nothing major. Like I said, I turned a brother and I put this out on a vlog where they had a beach for sale a bar for sale right there on the beach, right there in Malecon for $12,000. Somebody brought it, and they opened up, and they doing pretty good. Every time I go over there, I buy a drink. We see other people sitting around. I don't know their books. They took a risk, but it's not a big risk. Like I said, even taking risks with property. If you say, listen, I don't want to invest $200,000, $150,000, even $60,000 on a condo, whatever, rent it out. I've talked about being subleasing a place, making sure that you put in your contract that you can actually rent out the place where you have not ownership, but proprietorship. That way you can Airbnb it, see how it goes. So there's different ways to take risks, dip your toe into the water, and build that wealth, build that passive income, be creative, create more financial stability for yourself, for your family, for your kids. And like I said, we're going to get into a whole host of things next year. We're going to talk about taxes. I'm going to tell you, if you file taxes without having a business, you are literally missing and losing a lot of money. If you come down here on vacation, a weekend warrior, I don't care what it is, or you come down here for 3, 4, 5 weeks, and you're not on a business trip, you're missing money. So, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about how to best use your credit card. Before I moved here, I used to buy everything on credit, but I would pay it up. I would pay everything after those 30 days. So why? Because I was trying to build up those points. So I was building up those points so that when I went to Brazil or when I went to Thailand, I could stay in places and I have those points where I could have a free stay or I could have a free plane ticket. So using that credit card, man, to build up my points, to build up my line of credit also, which was another thing we're going to talk about, making sure that you build up your line of credit. That way you have $250,000, $300,000, $400,000 of line of credit. I ain't saying you got to go out there and use it, but you want to definitely build it up. That way, when you're ready to make a boss move, it's there for you and you don't have to use your money. So like I said, next year, man, we're going to really change the way we move the channel. We're going to talk about different things. I think what's going to influence that is me being in Santo Domingo, because I'll be spending a lot more time there at the call center because I'll have to run the call center. Maria, she's upstairs, 1 floor above me in the law office. I'm only going to call her when I need her to get on the horn to take care of if anybody, happen to get in trouble, whatever. She's going to do the law part, but I'm doing the marketing and everything else. So, I just really want to get into more business aspects with the channel, because the one thing that I think I did when I first did the channel, it was about building up for the anticipation of moving overseas and actually taking you from my house, doing videos in my backyard, to actually making the move. And I took you on that journey. So now it's time to change, because now I've been here for 3 years. So now it's time to change the journey. It's time to change the direction of the channel. So now it's about acclimating, you more with, all right, so now that I'm here, what do I do? And I can't think of anything better than making money while you're here and living your best life. So before I go on, let me see what let's see. So what's up, Cyrus? What's happening, brother? Everything in life is a calculated risk with risk management. Yes, it is, brother. I agree. What is this? Shaking TMD? Just left the DR Sue is not my style. That's cool. All right. DR, let me tell you something. DR may be my thing. It may not be yours. Costa Rica, Philippines, Thailand. My thing is getting outside of that matrix. I never told anybody, listen, come to DR. This is everybody's paradise. So find your own paradise, brother. I'm with you on that. And also remember, Sosúa is not Dominican Republic. It's only one small part of Dominican Republic. It is not the entire Dominican Republic. You got Jarabacoa, you got Punta Cana, you got Las Terrenas. There's a big island, brother. There's a big island. So I just want to put that out there for you. Thank you. Look at Miss Felicia. She always looking out for me. Hit the like button. I love Miss Felicia. All right, what's up, Cyrus? Thank you for the super chat. Appreciate my big brother's direction, experiences, connections, insight. And that's another thing, connections. You know, we're talking about making money, but and I have said this on the channel before, and I'll say it again. I'll say it again. Your net worth is your network. Your net worth is your network. Get around people who are doing things. You know, I've been here, man. I got a chance to meet developers, builders, doctors, lawyers, police cap. I mean, man, I mean, just building my resources of people and not just hanging around people who just want to do crazy shit at the bar. All right. That is not building your network. That is not going to help your net worth. So get around the right people, man. Do something positive. Get around like-minded brothers. And I'm not talking about, like I said, just to sit around and have a drink. You know, I want to know where I can go get the best food. You know, I like those restaurants. I want to know where I can get a chef. You know, Chef Cece, I introduced her, well, not totally introduced her, but told you about it, shared her information last night. This sister is bad. I mean, man, every time I talk to her, I keep learning more and more things about her life, her story, man. Bad sister, you know, but when you are putting out good karma, those are the type of people that you attract. So just keep that in mind. But also, like I said, I want to talk to people, and I'm not an expert, so I'm gonna put it out there. If you know anything about like cryptocurrency, Forex, option trading, e-commerce, I want to talk to you. I want to start putting those people on the show, showing and telling what they do. Because I know brothers who's doing all of this. I know brother who's in the Forex. I know brothers in the cryptocurrency. I know brother who's in the option traders. They've been trying to get me in it, but I tell them that's not my forte. I know my lane. So I kind of stay in my lane. However, I know some other brothers want to get into it. So we're going to start bringing some people in there, man, and really focus on finances. All right, so let's see what the bomb says. I invested in Santo Domingo on the Malecon with 3 other members on 2 penthouse subs and right on the Airbnb. It's fantastic. Like I said, I told you, man, my brother last night, you know, when I was getting ready to sell my condo, yeah, he saw it as a way of, you know, let me own some property down here for 35 G's. He said, Russ, let me get 35K. Don't sell it. You can keep it. You can still do your thing with it. Let me put my 35K and my name on the deed. I had no issue with that. None. Because it still gave me enough capital, working capital, to do what I needed to do. And then still gave me access and my crib to stay where I'm at. I'm going to tell you, man, there's a lot of ways you can work deals to make money. There's a lot of ways you can work investments to your advantage. You know, so like I said, we're going to talk about diversifying your money and investments. You know, like me, I have gold, silver, physical gold, silver, cryptocurrency. Now, I wish, and my boy Derek, thank God for this brother. But I did not listen. My boy Derek, my doctor, in 2015, told me invest in cryptocurrency. My boy Derek's heavy into cryptocurrency. Invest in cryptocurrency. I just recently started investing in cryptocurrency and made money. My problem is I did not take the risk and make a lot of money because I invested a little bit of money, made some change, right? Some change. But had I invested in some real money when it did that dip to 8,000, right now, at 8,000, it went to 8,000 in 2020. Cryptocurrency is now at 15,000, right? Because you can now buy it on Cash App. And instead of me investing what I invested, had I just said, let me $1,000, man, oh my God. But taking that risk means you got to have money to lose at the same time. So, you know, you don't want to borrow money. So how do you become your own bank? How do you become your own bank? We're gonna talk about that. Being your own bank, being your own financier, paying yourself interest, just like if you borrowed money from a bank. So we're not talking about doing shit and then going outside of the structure. We're gonna stay within the structure. Only thing we're gonna do with the wheel is make it our own. We ain't trying to reinvent the wheel. We're gonna take the wheel and just make it our own. What's up, Mike, man? Thank you, brother. Have a cup of coffee on me. Hope to be out there soon. I ain't gonna have no coffee, but I'm gonna have a drink on you. Shit, $5, that's two Presidentes right there. Appreciate you. My boy Cormega says Bitcoin is blowing up right now. It is. And I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna invest at least 10 G's in Bitcoin. I think it's going to go back down. PayPal just put, I think, something like, I don't want to quote the wrong number, but I think it's something like 250 million or some crazy ass number into Bitcoin. PayPal is a huge company. A lot of the big boys, even the banks, they silently doing it, but even the banks are now putting a lot of money into Bitcoin. So I'm waiting for Bitcoin to go down, and I'm gonna really, like I said, I'm gonna put at least $5,000 to $10,000 into Bitcoin. I'm gonna try to keep as close to 10 as possible. But and I see, man, I mean, I made some money just in a short time. I put money into Bitcoin, but had I took the risk, calculated risk, I would have made more. But it's all right because I think it's gonna go down. I think it's gonna do a dip. Because of all the crazy shit going on with the elections and everything like that. Even though the election is over, the shit show ain't over. But also, like I said, man, making sure that you diversify your money. Make sure you, like we talked about, having gold, silver, real estate. Real estate. I love having real estate. How I got into real estate. A young lady that I was dating told me 2 words that I said nobody would ever repeat to me again. She told me, get out. And when I got kicked out of her apartment, that was it. I never lived in another place unless my name was on it. Whether I was renting, buying, whatever. I believe in ownership. So I like buying. I like having control. I like being able to say, I don't need your permission to do what the hell I want to do. I have an authority problem. So, and it's good because it worked to my benefit as, into me buying real estate and having property. So real estate, building your line of credit. We talked about that. Having some ETFs. If you don't know what an ETF is, Google it. Maximizing your 401, your TSP. Understanding what a TSP is. When I was working for the government, I used to do classes with a lot of government employees and teach them the difference between a traditional TSP and a Roth TSP, how to maximize both, because the government will back up 5%. So I would tell them, put in that money up to 5%. And then after that, then if you want to invest another 3%, 13%, 20%, put it into your Roth. Why? What's the difference? One is tax deferred. One is before tax. One is after tax. I like after tax with Roth because you never know what your tax bracket may be. It could be 13%. It could be 12%. It could be 25%. You don't know. So that's why I like the Roth. But we're going to get into all that within the new year and talking about the channel. But we're going to try to center everything around money. Even going into restaurants, how can we, we're going to talk, I'm going to try to talk to the owners, the restaurateurs, people like Cece, because I know a lot of people want to get into that, people who own bars. So, we're going to really center the new channel around money, around investing, and there's always going to be some tip at the end. So everything for 2021 is definitely going to be centered around money and making the best out of your overseas living. So what's up, Mike? So I just checked my Robinhood account and Bitcoin's I told you it was 15 and change. I just looked at mine. I looked at it. I think it's going to dip. I'm struggling whether I want to sell it, take the cash off the top, wait till it dip, and then get back into it. So that's when But if it goes to 16, I'm gonna tell you, I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell mine. I'm just telling you what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna sell mine, take the cash off the top, wait till it dip, and then I'm gonna throw a shit load of money into it to let it come back. Gotta have the big boys in there for sure. What's up, Brendel? Only one real, Russell, you dropping jewels this time. Only one real crypto with 2 Bitcoin in there. Ethereum is also good. My boy Kevin is trying to turn me on to Ethereum. So, now I'm a little more open now to, I'm gonna tell you, I took a slow walk into cryptocurrency, but now I'm here. It was a slow walk, but now I'm here. I'll say that. All right, I help others. That's why, Russell. My ex-wife put me out in 1989, and I have not lived anywhere with my name not on it since then. All right, brother. Look, I understand. Let me tell you something. That my ex-girlfriend telling me to get out was 2 famous words that started my life in the real estate. Started my life because I was so embarrassed. I said, this is never going to happen to me. Man, I was embarrassed. I was pissed, but I was energized. And I wanted to show her that nobody will ever do that to me again. And sure enough, when I brought my first property, I damn sure called. Maybe a little petty, but I ain't going to lie to you. All right, learn how to trade. Yeah, learn how. But, there's so much in trading. You got Forex. You got option trading. Man, there's so many ways in the trading, and then what are you trading? Are you trading stocks? Are you trading bonds? Are you trading currencies? If you're trading currencies, if you're in the Forex, that's a 24-hour thing. So I want people on here, I want to get people on the show. I want to learn. I want to put out information for you to learn, because I really want to push that laptop lifestyle. I really want to push people into, if they think about overseas living, really push them into, how can we maximize what we're doing? And that's the thing, maximizing what you're doing. We even going to talk about freelancing, because a lot of people got a lot of skills. And especially if you one of those people who know PowerPoint, PowerPoint, Word, Excel, all that stuff. People are looking for those skills. I could do a PowerPoint presentation, and thank goodness I know the Excel spreadsheet. But I know there's so much more I don't know. You can run reports right off an Excel spreadsheet. I'm telling you, man. I used to work with this wizard of an Excel spreadsheet. And I'm telling you, man, I believe in Excel. I keep everything. My whole life is an Excel spreadsheet, but there's so much more that I don't know. So I look for people, and I ask them, how good are you with Excel? I mean, are you good enough where I can run a report right off you do? Because Excel spreadsheet is really a database. If you know how to use it, it's a database. It is a database where, you don't have to buy all this other expensive stuff. I'm telling you, I used to work with a wizard, this dude, Walter, I used to work with, man, this dude, the shit he could do with Excel spreadsheet was amazing. I'm still a baby in the weeds on that. I don't have that number mindset to do all those calculations that he used to do. He knew all those calculations. I learned a few, but I have not been at that job in years. So of course I lost some of that knowledge. But I'm telling you, man, you could do some freelancing work, photography, whatever, maximize your skills. Now, with laptop lifestyle, new opportunities, positions are opening up. Have you thought about being a media manager? Look at the boy, Passport Heavy, Jabril. Heavy brother. Doing the damn thing. That's what he does. He basically manages people's social media accounts, for big corporations and small businesses. There's a lot of opportunities, man. So we're going to get into all that next year. We're going to talk about You know, the big thing is talking about your lifestyle burn rate. You know, while you're living overseas, yes, things are cheaper, right? Yes, you're paying a lot less for commodities and services, but what is your lifestyle burn rate? So I'm paying less, or maybe I'm paying close to it, right? Right now, I have this house, right? I'm paying $800, right? Okay, so my mortgage in the US is 700 and change. I'm renting it out, so I'm creating passive income. So I'm used to paying that $800 a month, right? Paying 700 and change for my mortgage. I'm used to paying X amount of light bills, so forth. All right. Still, the bills are cheaper here. But what is my burn rate? Meaning, all right, so the rent and the house is about the same, right? My bills are a little lower. Bills are a little lower. Going out, entertainment, a little lower. Dating girls, a little lower. Dating women, whatever, a little lower. Now, but if I'm spending everything at the bar, right? If I'm spending everything on those chicas, then I'm burning more money than I would actually burn if and I've seen dudes do it. I know cats who I've never seen sober. Now I'm a drinker and I drink. I drink. But I'm sober a lot of days. And I'm sober a lot of hours on them days that I do drink. But I've seen people I've never seen sober. And that's what and they burning that money on entertainment. So yeah, so let's say if you got $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 coming in, if you burning 5,500, you're always behind the eight ball, even if you overseas. You think, oh man, I'm over here, I'm paying less. But no, but your burn rate is higher than it would be in the States. So let's say, like I said, if you burning 550, 500, 5,500, but you would burn 4,000 in the States, but now you just having fun. You burning yourself out. You really are. What's up, Cyrus? Thank you again for the super chat. I love the general leading this new direction to the channel. That's where we got to go. Thank you, brother. Russ, I was thinking about coming to school this weekend. Is it worth it, or should I wait to 2021? It depends on what you're looking for, honestly. You just want to come down here, burn up some steam, have some fun, and dip in the enjoyment of Sasua, then yeah, come on down. The streets are full, the bars are full. There's a curfew, but like my brother said last night, there's ways around everything, and it's not so much beating the curfew, but there's movement. You just have to get in a cab or whatever, and you straight and you get to go. Life, the nightlife is not dead at 9 o'clock when the curfew hit. Trust me, it's not. There are places you can go. Let me know. Hell, I'll give you a couple. We got people who decide, listen, I want to have a party in my house. So, they do. I know a cat who started his party at 8:30. And the curfew's at 9. He starts the party at 8:30. So the party went pretty much all night. So people are doing different things. They're making different moves, man. And so whatever you want to do, brother, you can make it happen. That's the beautiful thing about coming down here to this beautiful paradise. You can make whatever happen you want to happen. My thought process now is making it happen, enjoying your lifestyle, and making money at the same time. And I ain't even talking about working to yourself to exhaustion. I'm talking about having fun making money. If you're doing Forex, I know a young blood that's doing Forex. He does 4 hours a day. That's it. He does 4 hours a day. He does 4 hours a day, 5 days a week. And it's not all the same hours. Sometimes he may start in the morning, sometimes he may start in the afternoon, whatever it is. There's different ways to move down here, man, where you can really create synergy for yourself. You know, where you really create synergy, and then getting out talking to other people, man. I'm telling you, I'm my lifestyle come 2021 or starting in, I would say, the end of December, is going to be a little bit more hectic because, like I said, I'm starting up with the call center. So I got to be there every day to supervise the call center until I get somebody in there to take over, build it up, build the business. My ultimate plan, even for the business, have somebody come in and buy us out. I mean, be honest with you. You know, we're talking long-term, large plans, major moves, and you should too. And you should too. I'm telling you. What's up, Joe? The money burn rate is crazy in the DR. It is. It is. In Thailand, cheap, but damn. Yeah, it is. I'm telling you, man. People treat this like monopoly money. It's not monopoly money. It's not monopoly money. It's not monopoly money. And there's times where my burn rate is crazy. Just be honest with you. Just be transparent. Where when I start seeing that burn rate go high, I start like, all right, I got to fold up X amount of money, you know, whether it's 3,000 or 4,000 pesos. And I say, all right, so for the next 4 days, I'm going to live off this 3,3,3,3,3. I ain't going over because I know, because I'm burning. And I got a pretty decent income, but I'm not trying to just burn through everything, right? Not trying to burn, because there's other things I want to do. I want to buy more land. You know, I'm still involved with the land development. You know, I got to put money in this business here. I have to get me an apartment in Santo Domingo because that's where I'll be spending a lot of time. I'm not just going to go there and just do a hotel for 3 weeks at a time. That's absolutely crazy. So I got to even start watching my burn rate. You know, I got to start I don't mind burning my burn rate in business because I see the end. You know, I see the end. I see the end. I see the goal. But, you know, you got to watch that burn rate. It's not monopoly money. And I've seen guys just burn it, and including me. I'm no exception to that rule. Trust me, no exception to that rule. All right. So I see we still got a couple of trolls in here. But this is not about them. This is about people who try to do something. 150K is awesome if you're doing those numbers. Then you don't need that much to be a millionaire. In the DR, you can live comfortably off $1,500 a month. Like I said, if you got 20, if you got, because the ratio went up, it's 58-1. If you got 19 grand, you're a millionaire on peso. I put the video out. You're a millionaire in the DR. So now let's turn that million pesos into $1 million. And I'm telling you, if you focus on it, you can do it. You really can. What do you want to do? You know, what do you want to do? And being in an atmosphere where you feel free, you know, where you feel those creative juices flowing, where you around other people who are thinking like you, right? Who are speaking like you, who are moving like you, right? You don't have to find a complete carbon copy of yourself, but just people who are in that mind frame. I'm telling you, it energizes you. It brings out the best in you. It pushes you. And it really does. It really does. And the best thing, you're doing it on your terms, not nobody else's. You know, when you're sitting at a desk in the States, in the Matrix, you know, you bartering your time for money. They're telling, I think you worth $15 an hour. I feel like I'm worth $75 an hour. Well, I think you're worth 15. So are you barter your time? You give me your time, I give you $15 an hour until you prove that you're worth that $75 an hour. You know, so, you know, but you don't feel like that down there. You know, you know that you're working for you. So if you feel you're worth $1,000 an hour, you can do it. I'm telling you, you can do it if that's what you really want to do. because I've seen myself grow. I've seen myself expand. In business, passive incomes, creating different streams of income, and that's what you need to do. Create those different streams of income. You know, I always tell people find at least 4 different streams of income, at least 4, but don't stop there. You know, create 5, 15, 20, 25, 30 streams of income. You ever see that movie? You ever see that TV show Shark Tank? Those millionaires and billionaires, they have some of them have 300 streams of income. 300 streams of income. They have to hire people to manage certain businesses of their business. But you know something, they got so many streams of income. I gotta hire people to manage X, Y, Z, D, E. I'm telling you. So, like I said, it's possible. It's possible. So that's what we want to move into, man. We want to do something, man, where we just feed off synergy. Where we feed off synergy, good vibes, energy, and that's what we're moving into for 2021. So I'm starting my thinking of how I'm moving myself for the new year. I hope you are too. Don't wait till December 28th to say, you know something, what new thing do I need to do for the new year? Start now. Start now. Start now. Start thinking. It's November, right? It's November. It's close. You know, I don't do New Year's resolutions. What I normally do is I look back every 6 months. What have I accomplished? What have I done? How am I moving? So I just want to encourage y'all to do the same thing. And that's what we're going to start, man. That's what we're going to be doing. I'll be in Santo Domingo. You know, Santo Domingo is more of a business atmosphere. So it's nothing like Santo Domingo is nothing like Sosúa, Cabarete, Puerto Plata. It's totally different. Totally different people I'll be associating myself with, be around the whole 9 yards. But I'm looking forward to it. Like I said, looking forward to do some more travel vlogs and introducing you more about Santo Domingo. I'm definitely going to try. I'm definitely getting out of just kind of doing the lives here at the crib, or even doing lives over there. I really want to be out more. So we're going to be moving. You know, 2021 is going to be a good year. And I got to think. I guess I got to thank all that to my quarantine because it really showed me within the last 8-9 days, man, that I was not getting enough rest. I was just, you know, I was moving, I was out there, I was doing, but I was dragging. And I'm telling you, man, I feel like I could run a fucking marathon. So I really do. So, and I appreciate y'all coming with me on that journey and being patient. So as of Jay-Z invests in agriculture, so much money, and DR business is booming. Agriculture is big business down here, big business. I got to see it. And like I said, my best advice, and I put a vlog out and I said that, my best advice, buy land. Buy land, make sure that you're growing your own food. Start a vegetable, garden area. Buy land. Yes, again, having a condo, yes, having a house is nice, but make sure if you got a house, you got enough to plant, that you have your own garden, sustainable food. Have a mango tree, pomegranate tree, whatever. But my best advice, like I said, and I'm sticking with it, is looking into land. That's the one thing that this pandemic has taught me. All right, by gold, silver, and currency. Yeah, I brought my gold and silver. I brought it a long time ago, years ago. And I just brought it as a hedge, you know, because I didn't know what was happening in the market, but I know, hey, that silver, that gold, it's going to hold this strength. But when you buying coins, I like coins. I just don't like buying the blocks. All right, I like coins. 3 things, look for the year, circulation, how many they make. So when you're buying coins, year, circulation, has it ever been in circulation? Has it not? How many did they make? Those are the 3 most important things when you're buying coins, whether they're gold coins or silver coins. Remember those 3 things. Am I giving up the house? No, I'm not giving up the house. I got a couple of houses. I got 2 houses in the States. And so, no, I'm not giving up any house. I love real estate, man. I'm gonna own some real estate. I want to sell the house, but I just can't. I just don't feel like kicking the people out because I have great renters. Even through this whole COVID thing, they've never missed. They never missed a payment. Never missed a payment. Never called and say, "Hey, can I take?" No, never, 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 never. And besides, they're paying off the house. I mean, if they want to pay off my houses, I'm happy, and I get a little cream on the top of it. Look at it like this. So my mortgage is about 715 on one of my houses in Georgia, right? I'm clearing at least $300 on that house. Where am I going to get that every month on my money in the bank? Can you go to any bank in the U.S. or any other country, right? And I only owe, I think on that particular house, I think I only owe like maybe another 86,000, 85,000, something like that. But can you collect that kind of interest off the money that you have in the bank? You can't. And then, like I said, I got the other house. So I can't collect that type of interest. So right now, I don't need that bulk of money to do something with. So right now, it's a good move, and you have to look at it like that. It's passive income. All right, so Hostile got are you in the DR? I've been living in the DR for almost 3 years. I have not even been home. I haven't even set foot in the United States in over a year. All right, what kind of business do you have exactly? You say at Jay-Z. So that's the question, is not for me. All right, somebody say you better not say a plantain or banana plantation. All right, anyway, I think that's it for me, man. I'm not gonna stay long. I hope I planted some seeds with y'all tonight, man. One last thing, philanthropy, feeding that philanthropic side. Make sure that you do that. Y'all know how I feel on church. I'm not a big church dude. I believe in God, but I'm not with the whole church thing. But so I don't do the tithing into a church. But I tithe with people. I tithe with the orphans. I tithe with, people I'm trying to help out here. I tithe with my goddaughters, making sure that they have the best so they can succeed out here. So, but giving back, I think, should be a big part of your journey to success, to financial success. I think it really pays you back. I really do. I believe that with all my heart. I absolutely believe that with all my heart. But I believe in tithing and giving, where I see where the money's going, to see the lives I'm affecting, see the changes, see what's happening, man. And I think you'd be blessed with it too. Really do. So don't forget that. Don't make that the last thing you do. It's good to make it the first thing you do. Anyway, so that's it for me. I got a few other notes, but I'll talk about that later. But anyway, that's where we're going to be moving with the channel for 2021. We're going to be talking about overseas, but we're going to be talking about, being an overseas capitalist. I'm from America. So, America is full of capitalists. So why not be an overseas capitalist? I can move overseas, have a laptop lifestyle, and be an overseas capitalist at the same time. You can too. Think about it. Peace and love.